It's fine if you don't want to go to the gym. There's nothing wrong with you if you don't want to go to the gym or just do the things in general that you don't want to do but you know you should do. There's nothing wrong with you if you feel that way, but the problem is letting those feelings stop you from accomplishing your dreams and transforming your life in the way you want it to. If you think I made this transformation by only doing the things I want to do, by only going to the gym when I felt like it, by only eating the foods when I felt like it, by only being consistent when I felt like it, well, then you'd be delusional, because this has to include doing things you don't want to do, or else everybody would have these results. But through my years of experience and not only coaching myself through these obstacles, but also coaching others, I've developed some nice methods that I use to overcome obstacles now, and I'm able to just do things that I don't want to do a lot easier than I used to. So this is how I get myself to the gym when I don't want to. And this happens pretty often. This was the majority of the time in my journey. Yes, there were some times where I'd get fired up in the morning, I'd get all hyped, and I'd want to go to the gym. But in total, if you took all the times I went to the gym, 75% of the time or so, I did not want to go. I wanted to keep scrolling on my phone or eat food or lay in bed, whatever I was doing in the moment, and whatever would keep me comfortable. But I developed this method called the front door method, which helped me transform significantly. It stems from this quote: "The hardest lift in the gym is the front door." The hardest lift in the gym is the front door. And it also stems from this mental conversation you have with yourself, where you tell yourself, I'll just go for 2 minutes, and if I don't want to stay, I can leave. That's it. You're sitting on your couch, you're scrolling Instagram Reels, you're scrolling on TikTok, you're opening Snapchat. You know in the back of your head you should go to the gym, and it's just like lingering in your mind, but you keep procrastinating it. And it's just like the idea of going through a full workout just sounds miserable. You just want to stay comfortable, stay with what you're doing, even though what you're doing is kind of pissing you off, because in the back of your mind, it's nagging you that you're not in the gym. If you have this conversation with yourself where you start by saying, I'll just go for 2 minutes, and if I don't want to stay, I can leave, I guarantee you will get in your car and you will go to the gym. This is what works. You say, I'm on my couch, I don't want to go to the gym, I don't want to complete a full workout, but how about I just go walk on the treadmill for 2 minutes just to say I went, and if I still feel awful, if I still don't want to complete a workout, then I can leave. That's it. And that's true. I'm not saying lie to your, I'm saying genuinely go in there with the expectation to only do 2 minutes of exercise, or just open the front door. Because the hardest lift in the gym is that front door. If you can get yourself in the gym, ideally you build that momentum, and it's a lot easier to just complete a workout. The amount of times I've been in the situation I was just talking about, where I'm scrolling on my phone, I want nothing to do with the gym, but it keeps lingering in the back of my mind, and I know I'll regret it if I go to bed tonight without going to the gym. The amount of times I've felt that way and just told myself, you know what, I'll go for 2 minutes. I'll go for 2 minutes. I get to the gym, I get in my car, I get to the gym, I walk on the treadmill for 2 minutes, I look at the machines, I'm like, okay, I can do a few sets, and then I can leave. I can do a few more sets, and then I can leave. You know what, this set, I'm not even going to push that hard, but I'm just going to do it just so I can feel good about myself. And then you complete that first set, and you're like, you know what, let me push hard. I didn't come here for nothing. And then you start to get fired up. You start to feel that momentum. That's what this is. This is the front door method. And I'm telling you guys, I don't only just use this for the gym, because now I've been going to the gym for about 4 years now. So the habit's a lot more concrete into my identity. But there's something that hasn't been, which is kickboxing. If you guys have been watching my other videos, you knew I just started kickboxing recently, and I don't want to go. Just as bad as I used to not want to go to the gym to lift weights, that's how I feel when it comes to kickboxing now, right? Because I don't have that as a concrete habit inside of me. But I use this same method where I told myself, you know what? I'll just go. I'll go to kickboxing. I'll just go use the punching bag for the duration of the class, and then I'll leave. That's it. I can go to the gym and use a punching bag. That's easy. I can just punch the punching bag. Just to give you a perspective of what these classes look like, right? The class is an hour long. We drill for the first 10, 20 minutes, and then we go into full-on sparring. So that's the part that really makes me not want to go, because it's hard. You get punched in the face. It hurts. It's exhausting, right? But if I tell myself, oh, I'm just going to punch on the punching bag, that's easy. I can do that. But once I'm in there, I punch on the punching bag, I do the drills. I'm like, I can do a few rounds of sparring. I do it. And then I leave the gym feeling fulfilled, feeling happy with myself. And it's so important. So why does this work? Because it does work. And I've used it with my clients, and I all see great success when they implement this. So why does this work? Number one, you're lowering the friction, right? Because when you're sitting on your couch, there's so much friction between you and the goal, which is just going to the gym. And what I mean by friction is just hard things to do, right? If you're laying on your couch, you're comfortable, you're snacking on something that you know you shouldn't be eating, you're scrolling on your phone, there are several uncomfortable steps between you and getting to the gym and having a great workout. Number one, you have to shut off your phone. You don't want to do that when you're scrolling Instagram Reels. You have to put down the snacks. You have to get up and get dressed in your gym clothes. You have to get in your car and drive to the gym. You have to get out of your car, walk in the gym. You have to scan in. You have to warm up. You have to complete set 1, set 2, exercise 1, and then so on and so forth, right? There's so many hard steps, but if you make the only commitment just to get in the gym, then the goal is easily accomplishable. It's like, oh, I can do that. I can walk in the gym and walk on the treadmill for 2 minutes, right? I'm not a loser. Like, I can do that, right? So that's number one. Number two is it forces you into an environment change. Oftentimes, our vices we're actually very ashamed of, right? We're ashamed of how much time we spend on our phone. We're ashamed of how gluttonous we can be, how much food we can eat when nobody's looking, how lazy we can be when nobody's looking. But if you force yourself into this environment change where you're not only in a setting of exercise equipment just to remind you of the things you have to do, but you're also surrounded by so many people who are acting in virtue. What I mean by that is they're doing great things. They're working hard. They're using their strength. They're pushing through hard workouts. Dudes are jacked. Dudes are ripped. Dudes are losing weight. It's this positive environment that you become immersed in, and it just soaks into your mentality, and it makes you perform at such a higher level. And number three, it creates momentum. Like I was saying earlier, all you have to do is open that front door. That's the hardest lift, and then just ride the wave. Hop on the treadmill. Oh, I can do a few sets. I do a few sets. Oh, I can go a bit harder on this next exercise. And then you finish the workout. It's that easy. It all starts with just getting yourself in the gym and making the sole commitment to yourself just to walk on the treadmill for 2 minutes. Or just to do one set of bicep curls and then I can leave. Or just to open the front door, and if I don't want to stay, I can leave. That's it. That's all it takes. Because what a lot of people fail to realize, this is a big misconception I see with people, they think consistency equals daily perfection, but really consistency just equals daily practice. Consistency is my best trait. I am extremely consistent. I'm extremely consistent with my fitness. I track my food every day. I stick to my diet every day. I'm not perfect. I have bad days, but for the most part, I practice. I wake up with the intention to succeed, the intention to work towards my goals little by little, right? So I'm super consistent with my fitness. I'm consistent with my business. I'm always checking in with my clients. I'm always talking to them. I'm always posting. I'm always active in the Instagram DMs, answering questions or just helping people that want to hop on a call with me and build a game plan, right? Like I'm consistent. My life is consistent. I'm consistent with my wake up. I'm consistent with my bedtime. My routine is consistent, but I'm not perfect. 90% of the time, I don't go to bed saying today was a perfect day. There are those days. We all have those great days. But most of the time, it's just those daily, monotonous, boring things that you don't want to do, that you feel like nobody's looking. It feels like this isn't going to pay off. But those are the days that count. Like, I'm saying all this to you guys because I want you to understand that day where you don't want to go to the gym and you're scrolling on your phone and you're hungry and you're uncomfortable. It's nagging in the back of your head that you should go to the gym, but you just don't want to altogether. It's like the last thing you want to do, but you force yourself to do it anyways. It builds that habit so much stronger inside of you. It solidifies itself in your identity. And that's what I want you to understand with this, is that when you can use this front door method to get yourself in the gym, it builds that habit of doing the things you don't want to do. So this is just a tool for really just establishing the foundational concept of excellent consistency, which breeds inevitable excellent results. Let me say that again. This concept just establishes the foundation of excellent consistency, which breeds excellent results. Consistency is by far the most powerful thing. It's what allowed me to transform my fitness, my physique, my mindset, my habits, my confidence. And it's what allowed me to go from somebody who had 0 followers on Instagram, not knowing how to post, not knowing what to post, and then just relentlessly posting every single day and getting better and better and better, and looking back at the data, said, okay, this didn't do good, but this did good. Let me double down on what works. Let me avoid what doesn't work. Keep doing it. And then I amassed 200,000 followers in my first year of posting on Instagram. It's consistency. It's making that non-negotiable to yourself that you are going to show up. You're not going to be perfect. You're not going to be 100% of the best version of yourself, but you're going to give what you have, even if what you have is only 30%. If you give the 30% you have, if you got bad sleep, if you're hungry, if you're pissed off, if somebody pissed you off, if you're irritable, you only have 20% to give, but you give that 20%, that is giving it all you got. And that's what's important. That's what breeds success. Aristotle said, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. And so I was talking to my client the other day, and he was telling me, man, like, I really don't want to go to the gym today. Like, and for context, he's been working with me for like 3 weeks. He's already down 13 pounds. We're already getting him ripped, but he was struggling because he's like, bro, like, I don't really see my abs yet, even though I'm losing weight. Like, what if I'm doing something wrong? And I'm like, bro, you have to trust the process. I know what I'm doing. This is all part of the journey. But he was like, yeah, dude, I'm just losing motivation. Like, I really don't want to go to the gym today. I really just want to eat the junk food. My temptations are so much stronger today. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, how do you stay disciplined when you're not motivated? That's what he asked me. And I told him the habits and the standards for yourself that will allow you to make progress each and every day, week after week, month after month, for the rest of your life, those habits are built on these days. They're not built when you want to do them, because anybody can do anything they want to do. Everybody likes doing things that are fun to them. But in order to get results you've never seen before, it requires you to develop habits that you've never had before. And the way you develop those habits is by forcing yourself to do those hard things when you don't want to. That's all it is. Every single time you think to yourself, I don't want to do this, but you do it anyways because you know you have to, you know it's required for you to get the results you want, that is the habit being developed 10 times more than the day where you just felt like going and you went anyways. So I hope this video was valuable, and I hope you guys can implement this, because I guarantee you those who are serious and actually implement this will see results for the rest of their life. Remember, consistency is not daily perfection, it's daily practice. You're not a perfectionist, you're a practitioner. That's what you have to ingrain into your identity if you want to accomplish these results, right? Like, I didn't get ripped by being perfect. I got ripped by showing up every single day with the intention to succeed. Even though I've had days where I eat way more food than I planned to, even if I had days where I felt way too lazy and I did a bunch of things I'm not proud of, I show up the next day with the intention to succeed. It's about practicing. It's about participating. That is what consistency is, and that version of consistency is what's key. Not consistently perfect, consistently practicing. That is how you get these results, and this is a very powerful method you can use to stay consistent. So if you guys thought this was helpful and you want to work with me one-on-one, like maybe you're hyped up, you're ready to use this, but you don't really know exactly what game plan to follow, you can book a call with me in the description below. We'll talk it out. We'll build you a game plan to get you ripped. I'm super confident in what I do. If you want to look on my Instagram, I'll put in the description at BetterLifestyle365. There's a highlighted story of all my client testimonials. My guys have gotten ripped, great results. They're all super happy. You can even DM them, like I've tagged them in my stories. Like, DM them, ask them about working with me. Like, they'll all say great things. But other than that, yeah, I mean, subscribe, like the video. I really appreciate all your guys' support. Leave a comment, ask any questions. I'll respond in a video likely. And other than that, follow me on Instagram. You can see my daily stories on there. I post 50 morning push-ups every morning at 4 a.m. So if you want that motivation or just want to see what I do each and every day, check that out. But other than that, guys, I love you. Peace out. I'll see you next time.